Welcome to A Course in Business Miracles. This is Heather Dominic, creator of businessmiracles.com and founder and leader of the highly sensitive entrepreneur movement. Join me today for some genuine practical assistance and a business-altering and life-changing experience, a business miracle. This is A Course in Business Miracles, episode number 94, HSE Feature with Women's Empowerment Coach, Susie Procini. Welcome to the Business Miracles HSE Feature episode. I am just so happy to be featuring Susie Procini as a member of the Business Miracles community and as a successful, highly sensitive entrepreneur and leader. Susie, along with being a valued member of the Business Miracles community, is the owner and creator of Age Perfection Women's Empowerment Coaching. She has been a coach for 10 years, having started her entrepreneurial career as a health and wellness coach. Before starting her business, Susie had many jobs in her life, such as working in a law office, as a travel agent, working in her husband's dental office, as well as wife and partner to her husband Charlie for 39 years, and mother to two wonderful adult children, Ryan and Jessica. However, it is her own personal growth journey that she most specifically brings to lead her clients through their own empowerment journey. This work is her purpose and passion and is so fulfilling. It is this same level of personal fulfillment that Susie guides each of her clients to find for themselves. Listen in as I talk with highly sensitive leader and women's empowerment coach, Susie Procini, to hear how before she joined the Business Miracles community and highly sensitive leadership training programs, she was in other mismatch training programs, her business was stalled, and she just was not moving forward. Now, as a result of receiving training aligned with her highly sensitive nervous system, she has the most clients she's ever had and is making more money this year than ever before. I am honored to have so many connections with Susie as her mentor and also really enjoyed this opportunity to just connect in, chat, and mark how far she's come in her highly sensitive journey and the blossoming of her essential self. Enjoy. Susie, welcome to the Business Miracles podcast.
Thank you, Heather. I'm so thrilled to be here.
I am really looking forward to this conversation. You and I have all kinds of ways set up where we are connecting frequently as part of your Business Miracles mentoring. But I'm really looking forward to this conversation to really just take a moment and be able to summarize what your experience in Business Miracles has been, and really more than anything, just to kind of pause, take a breather, and celebrate just how things have incredibly transformed for you since the day that you and I first met. So, yay, I'm really looking forward to this.
Yes, I am too. It has been such a journey with you, Heather, and where I am now is so far beyond where I began. So yes, I'd love to celebrate this with you.
Okay, great. So you are currently in the Business Miracles Elite program, and you have been a member of the Business Miracles community since 2016. So we are 4 years into our journey together, which is beautiful and awesome and incredible. And I'd love for you to just share a little bit about where you were and how things were for you, both just as a person as well as for your business, way back when you and I first connected in 2016. What were things like for you?
Well, I was a health and wellness coach before I became a member of this community, but my business was stalled. not even like going at a snail's pace, but completely stopped. I had done other mentoring programs, and it was a total mismatch for me. And the way that they were teaching me to grow my business was not the way that was comfortable for me to grow my business. So I had been stopped for years, just hoping somebody would pick up the phone and want my services. And my daughter, who is a member of your community for more years than I have been, suggested that I get in contact with you, that this might be a good place for me to start to grow my business again and to really step into my strengths. So I took her up on it. You and I had a phone call, and it's been the best decision I have made. I don't want to say ever made, because I did marry my husband. That was a good decision. But it was the best decision for me personally and professionally in more ways than I can even count.
I remember that first conversation so well. And I remember, one, it was just an honor that Jessica would, refer her mom and connect you and I together. And then it was just a real honor for you and I to have that initial conversation and connection, and really, to just learn more about you as a person separate from Jessica's mom, and really have the opportunity to, develop these deep relationships and support of both of you to be able to grow in the ways that you've been meant, that you were meant to grow individually. And it's really just been, such an honor again to be a part of that and to play a role in that way. I'd love for you to maybe just, pick one of the ways that, you've experienced growth, as you mentioned, for yourself personally or also professionally since being a member of the Business Miracles community. What stands out to you the most?
I was thinking about that this morning in preparation for this call, and what came through to me was what I received through this program initially is that I had received an operating system that was the perfect one for me. I think all those years prior, I was operating in a system that wasn't aligned with my highly sensitive nature. And then all of a sudden, I get this download from you, and it's like, oh my goodness, this is what I have been looking for. This is perfect for me. This is how I can function. I can make the changes and the shifts, and this is how I can get back and grow my business.
I love that you use the phrase operating system. And so just for clarification for listeners, because I think it could go a few different ways and could apply in a few different ways. So when you say operating system, what are you referring to specifically for yourself?
Well, just like a computer has to have an operating system in order to have it function to its full capabilities, I believe that that's what you gave me. You gave me the systems, you gave me the tools, you gave me the trainings that really, really opened me up to my true essential self, and that I could operate within those guidelines that you set for each and every member of the community, that we can really function to our fullest extent. And that's what I meant by operating systems.
Yeah, that's so beautiful, because that really does then apply personally and professionally, right? Because it's not just about like, oh, this is how I do my business, separated or compartmentalized from, oh, this is how I do my life, but really more, again, using that beautiful phrase of an operating system for our highly sensitive nervous system, and then therefore an impact positively of how we show up everywhere. It goes across the board. It's a holistic experience.
For sure, for sure. I have experienced so much personal growth that it can't help but infiltrate every area that I'm connected with. Business, relationships, friendships with my children. Everywhere that I go, I show up as a different person because of the growth that I've had.
Yeah, that's so powerful. And what is an example of, specifically how you've experienced that growth in your business? Maybe like an increase of clients or income. What have you noticed?
Well, since I had really no business that was running, I definitely have had an increase in clients. It was hard not.
That is true.
But I have the most clients now that I've ever had. I am making the most money this year than I ever had. I have a networking group that I just love, and I am in complete connection with these wonderful people. And most of my clients have come from that networking group, and I just love them to death. So everything has changed, Heather. I mean, it's really even hard for me to think back because of how I was, because I'm so completely different.
Yeah,
so completely
it's really so
new.
True. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. This beautiful, higher level of, again, using that word operation for yourself. You mentioned your networking group. So I think it's valuable to mention and celebrate at this point too, that, you're stepping into a leadership position with that networking group. And I think that's really evidence of the growth over these last 4 years as well.
Yes, I am. I'm going to be president of my BNI chapter starting next week, actually. 2 years ago, I was asked to be the president, but I was new to the group. So I kind of followed the status quo in that reign. But this year, I have grown so much that I'm taking my own values and putting them into the leadership position that I'm undertaking. And I am so excited as to where this leads the group, where it leads me, and just the power of growth in myself and how it translates into now this whole networking group, into my business, and also, Heather, into my clients. My clients are experiencing the same powerful changes that I've been going through. So I don't want to say it's a trickle-down effect. It's like a snowball going down the hill that becomes this huge boulder. It just picks up speed and keeps going, and it gets to be so large.
Yeah, powerfully said. I think that's a really good point in regards to the impact on your work and then specifically your clients, because of course, who we are and how we're showing up in the world is highly sensitive. And especially for those of us who are highly sensitive entrepreneurs, we have an innate set of skills, right, from being highly sensitive. But when we're operating from a shadow set of those skills, there's only a fraction of those innate skills that's actually available to impact our clients. Good work will happen, but it kind of is like it happens at default, by default, or just kind of at a subdued level, versus when you're really committed, as you have been and you are, Susie, to being in a training process to high-tune your highly sensitive nervous system, to not just be an innate set of skills, but to be an innate set of skills that are on a mastery track. And that's so much of what I really hear you describing and talking about. And then therefore, of course, you're showing up differently in your work, you're showing up differently for your clients, and then they're going to experience a different result with so much less being taken from you from an energy perspective, and really just an overall sense of how it is that your nervous system, is drained or impacted, because that's something that I hear a lot from highly sensitives who have not engaged in a training process, is they recognize that they have these skills, right, to be intuitive, to be empathic, deep thinkers, deep listeners, all the strengths that we have, but they often feel drained as a result. And I know that's one of the things that you have shared with me and that you and I have talked about, is that before your work with Business Miracles, before mentoring with Business Miracles, that you felt exhausted a lot of the time, and that you would, tend more towards that highly sensitive shadow of people pleasing. And that's not where you are anymore. Is there something specific that you could credit in regards to your training process with Business Miracles that has helped you make that shift away from overwhelm and exhaustion?
Yeah, what I have discovered through the tools of energy management and just knowing myself on a deeper level is that I was stuck in the shadow of not only overwhelm, but overprotection and over responsibility. I think the whole time I was a mom to younger children, I was doing for everyone. And even my husband in his business, when I was working for him part-time, there was just nothing left in the tank at the end of the day for myself. I had given it all away. So I have learned how to reclaim my energy, to put up clear boundaries around what I'm able to do for others and what I'm not, in order to preserve my energy and take care of my needs, and to really say no, because I never said no to anybody. That would bring on guilt, and I didn't know what to do with that, and people pleasing was my way to go. It was the way I was brought up, and that was an old pattern that had to just get kicked to the curb, because it did not serve me at all. But now I have so much more freedom, so much more expansion, and it's just an awesome way to go through life.
So beautiful. I'm so glad that you mentioned that's how I was brought up. And I think that's really valuable to highlight, because we can kind of brush by that really easily often, like, oh, well, that's how I was brought up, right? Or sometimes people can really default to immense blame in regards to, like, that's how I was brought up. But I think what's really valuable about that we learn in the training process, for highly sensitives as part of being in Business Miracles, is that by being highly sensitive, that most of us unconsciously were given a designated role within our families, because we can take on energy, we can take on thoughts, feelings so easily, because our nervous system is wide open for that there can be a lot of unconscious, quote unquote training that happens. And then we come to believe as highly sensitives, like, oh, well, that's just how it is. Because I can feel all of this means I have to feel all of this. And then because I have to feel all of this, then it's my responsibility to take care of everything and everyone that I can feel. And the training is a dismantling of that unconscious pre-training that we received. And, and as you said, in the way that I was brought up. So I emphasize all that to really just, share, like, it's so incredible, the transformation that you've gone through in your time in Business Miracles, because it does require that dismantling. It does require that detangling from things that we've just come to accept as true because, quote unquote, that's how we were brought up. So again, I really appreciate that you spoke to that. I think that will resonate with a lot of people a lot of highly sensitives who are listening. Yeah. There's another aspect that I know that you've shared with me that's been very impactful for you, which is, that within Business Miracles, we really recognize that, especially as highly sensitives, we're not meant to go through this type of transformational retraining alone, but there is actually real power in being in an aligned community with other highly sensitives who are also invested in creating success for themselves as entrepreneurs, or who are really invested in showing up from an empowered leadership position within their lives and their work roles. So I'd love for you to just share a little bit about what your experience in this kind of community has been for you.
It is so powerful to be in this community for me, and I know for others. Just being with other people that we get each other. You get us. The coach team understands how we function as highly sensitive, where we're being led to go sometimes into our shadows, but then having that awareness to be able to quickly get back into our strengths. But the community has been amazing. I have made such deep friendships through this community, Heather. I love each and every person that is in this community. And even in the fact that we're all growing at different levels, but we can all support each other through the journey. And that's where the beauty happens. It's not like I'm comparing myself to this person because she's done more than I've done. It's just like we're all in this together. We're all in the same journey. We're all in process. And that is what I receive from this community. It's really very, very special.
I'm so glad to hear, your experience of this specialness, because it really is true. And, there is an acceleration that occurs when you're able to experience that supportive environment that you so beautifully described. And that does contribute to, how far you've been able to travel in just, 4 years' time. So, Susie, what is next for you?
That's a great question. I have just opened myself up to my divine to be led and guided. I am working one-to-one with clients who want to be empowered women. I am beginning a mastermind call on Zoom monthly now. It's going to be, and I'm taking women to the next level so that they themselves can experience what I have received. They're on the fast track because I've already done the work. I can get them there quicker. So just being open and being in communication with my divine is going to be what guides me forward in this. I mean, for me right now, the sky's the limit. I'll do whatever I'm guided to do, but I will always be in business miracles. I know that going forward. And I've even said to you, Heather, as long as I have breath, I will be in business miracles. So that's what's coming. That's what's coming to me for my future.
Oh, it's so beautiful and very exciting. Everything that you have planned, as well as, your commitment to the process. And again, for me, it's just an honor to be a part of it all for you and with you. Any advice that you have for other highly sensitives who are looking to excel for themselves in business and life and really, have more of that freedom and empowerment that you so beautifully described?
I would advise highly sensitives, if they're doing this all on their own, to run. Don't walk to business miracles, because this is where you will flourish. This is where you will find your tribe, so to speak. And this is where you will get the tools and the training to take you to places you never imagined you would go. Just the fact that I have clients and I'm doing speaking, I'm president of my BNI, that is there for you also. There's things that you have in your mind that are telling you you can't. And with Business Miracles and with Heather and the coaches, there is nothing you can't do. It's just a wonderful, wonderful place to really commit yourself to and to see the changes for yourself that take place within you.
So true, and so appreciate that. So beautiful. Thank you. So where can listeners find out more about the amazing work and way that you are being in the world as a highly sensitive entrepreneur and leader, Susie?
Well, they can find me at www.ageperfection.com or www.susieprocini.com. That's PROCINI.
Awesome. Definitely check out the work that Susie's doing in the world. It's pretty amazing and awesome, and said it so many times already, but again, I'm just so thrilled to be on the journey with you. And I so appreciated this conversation today. Like I said, we have lots of ways that you and I are connected, but I love the opportunity just to take a moment, mark what's really, transpired, and really set ourselves up for what's to come next. So thank you so much, Susie.
Thank you, Heather. I so appreciate you and the work that you're doing for highly sensitive leaders. This is just an amazing place to be. Thank you so very much.
You're so welcome. Okay, beautiful. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time.
Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed this episode of A Course in Business Miracles. If you're ready to learn how to use your highly sensitive abilities to support you in being purposeful, profitable, and empowered rather than scattered, poor, and undervalued, take my free self-quiz to find out if you are indeed a highly sensitive entrepreneur. And if you are, along with your quiz results, you'll receive my free HSE Success Guide, which will teach you how to have your highly sensitive abilities working for you to create the results you desire in your business. Take the quiz and receive your free success guide now at www.hsequiz.com.